800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
Welcome into Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Happy Friday to everyone listening and watching. Today is Friday, October 25th, and we've got a great show lined up today. We've got a great segment starting off college football with Chip Chirimbes talking Auburn, LSU, UCF Temple, and Boston College and Clemson. And then in our second segment, we're talking NFL with Tony T, including Bucks Titans, Monday Night Football lined up for next week. It is the Dolphins and the Steelers. The Dolphins still looking for their first win of the season, and they get to do it in prime time. What a treat for us. Then Tony's got an NBA free play for us as well because NBA is off and running. And we might go over some betting strategies for NBA just in case you're a little rusty. And then finally, our segment that we love to do on Fridays, NFL Rapid Fire, where we go down the line with a bunch of games. And hopefully we can win you some money this weekend with a lot of games to talk about on the NFL docket. Tonight, we've got a great night in sports ahead of us. College football, USC and Colorado. USC is favored 11 and a half. The total sits at 64. And then, of course, we've got the World Series. The Astros looking to bounce back after losing the first two games of the series to the Nationals. A huge upset as the Astros. I don't think anybody saw them losing at home the first two games with Verlander and Cole on the mound especially. And something else to look forward to in those games, the total has hit the over. In both of those games so far, the total tonight is 8. So maybe that over is worth looking at. Tonight, Zach Greinke on the mound for the Astros and Anibal Sanchez on the mound for the Nats, who almost threw a no-hitter last time out. And then NBA, of course, we've got a ton of games, including Lakers, Jazz. We're back after the break talking a little college football. Stick with us on Picks and Parlays.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Message and data rates may apply. Please do not text and drive. See purple.com for terms and conditions.
And now for an important announcement. Do you, or does someone you know, sweat the bed? Do you ever wake up feeling like you've been sleeping on a slip and slide? Sweating the bed is a serious but a common problem that affects your sleep, health, and happiness. Plus, it's just plain gross. But it's not you. It's your mattress. Fortunately, there is a cure. It's called Purple. Purple is the only mattress with a scientifically engineered smart comfort grid. This patented technology is designed to let air flow freely so you sleep cool. Side effects of sleeping on Purple include sleeping better, feeling better, and, well, honestly, smelling better. Try the Purple mattress risk-free for 100 nights and never sweat the bed again. And for a limited time, pick a free Purple product with your mattress purchase by texting SLEEPY to 84888. The coolest sleep of your life and a free Purple product by texting SLEEPY to 84888. That's SLEEPY to 84888.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
And welcome back to Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to find us that way, we're really easy to find, Picks and Parlays. If you just search any of your favorite social media platforms, we're usually the first thing that pops up. I am your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me on Twitter at Chelsa Messinger if you want to drop me a line. Right now, we've got Chip Chirimbes joining us for a little college football. Chip, how's Vegas?
Vegas is wonderful. You know how it is out here. This is the most spectacular time of the year. The weather's great, and we got all kinds of sports going on between the World Series, NBA, college and pro football, and of course college basketball right on the horizon.
Right. It's a busy time of year.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like I don't have enough TVs.
That's why they have the sports
All
books.
right. I know. Yeah. I know. That's the problem. I don't need to be spending all my time.
I don't go there either.
There, I suppose. But let's talk about some of these college games on the schedule, because there are some good ones coming up this weekend, including Auburn and LSU. Number 11 Auburn comes in 6-1 against the spread. LSU, the number 2 team in the land, 7-0, 5-1-1 against the spread. LSU favored in this one, -10.5. Total sits at 58.5. Auburn hasn't won at LSU in 20 years. Do you see that happening, Chip? Or do you see Auburn at least covering the spread?
I can see Auburn possibly covering the spread here. 11's a large number, and they do play conservatively. They've gone under 22-10 against teams with winning records. So they'll play close to the vest, and they may stay within the number. They are only 3-7 on the road against teams with winning record. But, you know, let's get to this LSU. Many think that this being the premier broadcast game in the SEC this week, that LSU actually deserves to be the number 1 team in the nation statistically. And when you look at it, Chelsea, they're averaging 540 yards a game offensively, averaging almost 8 yards per attempt per play. And most of it is coming through the passing game, 385 yards a game. Joe Burrow, listen to this, Chelsea. His quarterback efficiency rating is at 2.16. That's just virtually impossible that he can keep that kind of pace up. But LSU has been a juggernaut the entire season. Like you said, being 7-0 is one thing, but in our gambit here, we look for a team to go 6-1 against the spread when they're laying all those kind of points. They are 8-2 at home in the last 10 meetings against the spread against Auburn. And like you said, they've won all of those games outright, and they've gone 8-2 against the number. And they're 13-4 against the conference. And yet, with this being such a big game, and Auburn having Bo Nix, who can run and throw, his passing isn't as efficient as LSU's Burrow, but he does run the ball in key situations. And I think that the Auburn Tigers may have a shot at getting in under the number here, though I do doubt that they can win this game outright.
Right. It almost seems like a square play. Just because on paper, I think it just looks like LSU should cover in this one. Joe Burrow's been so good, as you mentioned, 29 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. The only thing I can see for Auburn is maybe if they can control the clock with the run game. Although Boobie Whitlow has been out. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, I believe, with an injury. That's their star running back. However, Auburn recruits running backs especially well.
Yes,
so they do have a stable of good backs. And plus, the forecast is calling for rain. So those are the only 2 reasons, the only 2 ways I see Auburn slowing down This LSU offense?
Auburn's defensive front and offensive front are among the best in the SEC. Of course, Alabama's probably the biggest of them all. But they should be able to go head-to-head at the line of scrimmage against these Tigers. And, well, they're both Tigers, aren't they? LSU Tigers and Auburn Tigers. But, I think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I think that LSU may not have the ease they've had in the past, averaging 8 yards per attempt on offense. So I think this game could play closer to the number. But like you said, this is an awful generous number to give. And I expect there to be some support for Auburn here, and because the number is so high.
Right. The only issue I would have with an under here is I thought the same thing at that LSU-Florida game, and I think the under got obliterated in like the third quarter.
Well, it does. It happens.
Florida's a pretty good defensive team.
Absolutely, but Florida had a little more firepower this year. As you saw, one guy ran for 88 yards from scrimmage than they've had in the past, and once the game opens up like that, both sides are looking for scoring. I expect Auburn to really try and keep this game at a minimal as far as scoring is concerned.
Right. I think that plays in their favor because you don't want to get a shootout. In a shootout with LSU and Joe Burrow. We know that for sure. All right. So what's your final consensus?
Well, I would take the points with Auburn here. I mean, this is not going to be one of my plays. I'm not going to be using it. But I expect to see a really good game between these two, and I don't think LSU is going to blow them out. So I would take a gander with the points. It's not an outstanding play. It's a great game to watch, and maybe with the points you can collect some money.
All right, let's move on to UCF and Temple. UCF favored minus 10.5, and this one total sits at 60.5. And this is an American Athletic Conference matchup. To these teams, both these teams looking to build some steam in their conference. UCF 5-2, 3-4 against the spread. Temple 5-2 as well. But 4-3 against the spread. Temple is 4-0 at home. UCF 1-2 away. What other things are jumping out to you when it comes to this game?
Well, first off, this Central Florida team is not the same juggernaut offensively they were last year. I mean, they do score and they are an offensive team. But last year, if there were 8 teams playing in the Final Four, they might have been one of them because they had a great, great season, particularly against the point spread. This year, not so much. Like you said, Chelsea, the 3-4 against the number, though they are averaging 554 yards per game and 7 yards per offensive play. Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback, has thrown for 2,000 yards, 17 touchdown passes, Chelsea, only 5 interceptions. But like you said, they're 0-4 against the points in their last 4 games, and they may have lost their mojo as far as the point spread is concerned. Temple's coming off an absolute annihilation. They got beat by SMU. It was one of my releases last week, having the Mustangs. As a matter of fact, we came back against them last night, so we've collected twice on that team. And I'm expecting the Owls, the Temple Owls, to shore up here and actually come up big against Central Florida. They're getting a plethora of points. And, after getting beat the way they did to SMU, I really see them where they're outgained by almost 400 yards, Chelsea, 382 yards. We saw that SMU offense last night was so outstanding, but I expect Temple to really make some huge adjustments. They only average 2 yards per offensive attempt against the Mustangs. I expect that to improve here. Central Florida's defense isn't as strong as it has been in the past either. I think this is a generous points to take, and I'll take Temple with the points here.
All right, and next up, we're going to the ACC. Boston College, Clemson. Clemson is favored by a ton in this one. They're minus 34.5. Total sits at 59. Clemson, of course, is 7-0, 5-2 against the spread, despite disappointing some AP voters, because Trevor Lawrence, despite being a Heisman candidate at the start of the season, he has 14 touchdowns, 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yes.
Did I write that right?
Yeah,
it's almost questionable.
He has double the interceptions, almost triple the interceptions he had the entire season last year. And Clemson won big their last time out. Like you said, they're 7-0. But I was talking to a few people out there, and Clemson is really got the benefit of a very, very weak schedule. And this is why you said some of these AP people have been dropping them in the polls. But they only have to win every game they play by 1 point, Chelsea, because the likes of Auburn and LSU have to play each other. Alabama has to play LSU. And those two teams, somebody's going to be coming up with a loss, and no one's going to go undefeated. So I think that Clemson has a really easy road to the Final Four. like I said, they're averaging 500 yards per game, and they actually look to, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't get his act straight together, they're going to have a lot of trouble covering these points. They did cover last week, but this Boston College, they're in and out, but they are actually 17-4 after a point spread win, and that's pretty good. And they're 5-2 against Clemson in the last 7 meetings. The road team in this matchup between Clemson and Boston College is 4-0, and the under in the last 7 games at Clemson is good 6 out of the last 7 times. So though this is a high point spread here, and Boston College is certainly not one of the best teams in the country, though they are 5-2 against the number, Chelsea, I give the Eagles a fighting chance here to keep it close.
All right, thanks as always for your picks, Chip. We're back from the break with some NFL. Stick with us on Picks and Parlays.
Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
We paid less for our Craftmatic today than we did 20 years ago.
If you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Rated #1 by consumers nationwide on consumeraffairs.com. Craftmatic beds come in all mattress types, including cool gel memory foam for up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, poor circulation, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. You'll sleep better in a Craftmatic adjustable bed. So if you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and information. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Discover Craftmatic for less, up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand.
Call 1-800-371-9608. That's 1-800-371-9608. Call 1-800-371-9608. Call now.
Do you owe $10,000 or more on at least 2 federal student loans? Then you may qualify for new programs offered by the Department of Education. These programs can reduce your interest, lower your payments, and possibly qualify you for loan forgiveness. If you have $10,000 or more and at least 2 federal student loans and currently not in school, you may qualify for one of these programs. Call now to check your eligibility. Student loan advisors are standing by to help you determine if you qualify for these new programs. They can help you reduce your interest, lower your payment, and even forgive a portion of your student loan debt. Take control of your financial future. Make this free 5-minute free call now to Nationwide Student Loans and learn how you can reduce your student loan debt.
800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851.
Eska stink. He says, I thought Scott Frost was going to have them ready. I said, how could they be an underdog at home?
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays, where we have a very lively studio that, you know what, we can't stop talking about football around here. I'm your host, Chelsea Messinger, and we've got Tony T joining us. Hello, Tony. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I had the audience mic'd up. I thought we were going to take some questions from the audience today.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But you will be taking some questions from me about some NFL games. Let's start with the Monday night game, which is sure to be a solid one because we've got the 0-6 Dolphins against the 2-4 Steelers. What a primetime matchup for this game. The Steelers are favored -14. Total sits at 43.5. Tony, what do you think about this one? Do you think the Dolphins are good enough to at least lose by less than?
Well, this is what the NFL, why they like betting, is because it's the only reason why anyone would tune in and watch these games, and why the NFL will get more and more money for their TV contracts, because people will be tuned in because they have bets on these games. And, Miami here, dogs 14, total 43.5. And you know what? I think the Dolphins, I don't think they're going to win this game, but I think they'll be able to cover. I think you have to look at the Dolphins a little bit different now. They've been competitive over their past 2 games and covered both of them. And if you watch that, well, I don't think too many people will watch the game against Buffalo. I happen to do. I watched the replay and watched some of the coaches' film. And I noticed one thing about Buffalo. Their defense is, I should say Miami, their defense is showing a little improvement. They're swarming. They're reading. They're doing a better job of reading the offensive formations and swarming to the football. So I definitely see an improvement on this Dolphins team. And one thing to note here with Ryan Fitzpatrick, a quarterback, adds a little bit more dynamic to that offense, his ability to make plays downfield. And I think it's just an upgrade over Josh Rosen, who is turning out to look like a first-round bust.
Right, Ryan Fitzpatrick, or Fitzmagic as some people like to call him, he's a little risky. He tries to make plays, which sometimes ends in turnovers. But you know what? He's always making an effort. It seems like he's sacrificing his body. And in that Bills game, the Dolphins actually led that one 14-9 at one point. So they do have the ability to score some points, especially impressive considering the Bills' defense.
Yeah, that was impressive. They're able to gain 381 yards on Buffalo. And, that was pretty good offensive performance there for the Dolphins. But, defensively, they held their past 3 opponents to 335 yards, just 3.8 yards per rush. And as you talked about with Fitzmagic there, they're completing over 65% of their passes in that span. So definitely an upgrade there for Miami. I have to look at them a little differently now. But one thing to note here with Pittsburgh and under Mike Tomlin, and I know Steeler fans out there are going to know what I'm talking about here, is that what really frustrates them is they play down to the opponent's level. And this is why I would be hesitant at all to lay points here, at least 14 with Pittsburgh, because we've seen them over the years just not have really flat performances in these type of games.
Right. In the NFL, it's not like college. There's a lot more parity. And we saw that last night with the Redskins-Vikings game. I know if you bet that game, you're watching down to the last minute because the Vikings didn't cover. And sometimes when you see these big point spreads, even against terrible teams, it's just too much. And these teams don't want to risk somebody getting hurt. As you saw the Vikings do, they ran the ball, I think, 4 straight times. And didn't score at the end. So I just think 14 points is a lot to lay.
Yeah, it is a lot to lay, especially in these times in the NFL, especially in the fourth quarters when you're holding leads against bad opponents. You often see the team that's way ahead just pretty much milking the clock. Sometimes they're in those short passes, those check downs that, they get good yardage off them and they convert first downs. And that's all they want to do. And they play that field position game. And of course, if the offense is struggling on the other end, why not punt the ball away? Sometimes the punt's obviously better than interception. Of course, quarterbacks are trained. The worst interception you can throw is the one when you're having the lead, because you can change momentum and cost your team a victory.
Right. So who are you taking in this one?
I'm going to take the points here with the Miami Dolphins plus the 14. Those that like to play under, I wouldn't. I would say that would be a pretty good play as well. But I like the Dolphins plus 14. The under is hit on these prime time standalone games 72% of the time this season.
Right, it hit last night, I believe.
Yeah. And also with the Steelers here, we got some injuries. Juju Smith-Schuster has missed practice with an illness. And James Conner left the game last week with a quad injury. Says he'll play, but if he plays, won't be 100%. And, of course, the Steelers just 285 yards a game average at home. So just not enough offense of production here for me to take them in this one.
All right, speaking of offenses, our next game on the schedule, Bucs-Titans. And as you know, I'm from Nashville. I went to the Titans game on Sunday, and Ryan Tannehill is now the quarterback for the Titans. And you know what? their offense looked a lot better. Granted, I don't think they should have won against the Chargers. If you watch that game, it was a really wonky game. The Chargers ended up fumbling on the goal line to lose at the last minute. But I think Tannehill brings a lot more to this offense than Mariota did. At least he's completing the basic passes, and with a defense as good as the Titans, I think it gives him a big leg up. So looking at this Bucs game, the Titans are favored -2.5. Total sits at 46. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm going to look at laying the points here with Tennessee -2.5. As you said, Tannehill does upgrade this team on offense. They had season-high yardage against the Chargers, 403 offensive yards in their home win. And Tannehill, 80% completion rate this season. Of course, it'll never stay that high. But again, the defense is really good behind him, so he doesn't have to try to force drives. Like I said, a punt will be good against this for this Titans team instead of risking turnovers. Play the field position game, and you can grind out a victory. And of course, sometimes you can just sit back and let Jameis Winston win the game for you, because he has that. You always got to worry about that interception. And one thing I note with this Bucs team is they're not very good when they play up against good defensive teams. That's one thing to note here is that we've seen Winston's troubles against the good defenses, and of course the Tampa Bay secondary about one of the worst secondaries in the league. So if Tannehill just want to go upfield, he may have some success in this one.
Right, as you mentioned, the Bucs not being good against good defenses. We saw that last week against the Panthers. They lost 37-26, and Jameis Winston had 6 turnovers and was sacked 7 times. So Jameis under pressure, usually not very good.
No, not very good. And also, he won't have his tight end, O.J. Howard. He's one of his targets there in the passing game. He's out. And of course, he's missing could miss 2 offensive linemen again. Alex Kappa out the guard, and starting right tackle DeMar Dotson questionable, and he hasn't played. So the Bucs will be looking for reserves on that offensive line, and you have to worry about that here when you're going up against a really good Tennessee defense.
Right, and the Titans finally got to see their first-round pick, Jeffrey Simmons, out of Mississippi State last week, and he was making some great plays. I even noticed it, because usually you don't really notice the play of some defensive lineman, but I was like, who was that guy? And then finally, I was like, oh, that's their first-round pick that's been sitting out most of the season because he's been hurt, and he's finally back, and another good addition to this already good Titans defense.
That's true. And also, too, note here with Tampa Bay, they're giving up, when you look at their secondary and their pass defense, giving 304 yards passing this year, and they've given up 31 points or greater in 3 of 4. And don't forget Henry in the backfield. We sometimes forget that he has the capability of making big plays. And if you're having success, we don't see that because Tennessee rarely has successful games throwing the football. This is one game where Tannehill can gobble up yards downfield, and it may even open up some big plays in the running game. Draw plays, can work here. We've seen we've seen Tennessee's running backs able to make that big play on occasion, and if they're having success downfield with passing, it may open up something on the ground.
Right, as we saw at Alabama, which is why Derrick Henry was so effective there, because they had the ability to throw the long ball and open it up for the run game. All right, let's move on to the NBA, because the NBA is off and running. We've got a free play Friday with Tony T. We're doing Mavericks Pelicans. Pelicans are favored -2. Total sits at 227. The Mavs are 1-0 and 0-1 against the spread. Pelicans 0-1. And also 0-1 against the spread. Granted, that is a small sample size. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, I had the Pelicans in their opener. It was a bad beat. They are covering the spread the whole game and into overtime until the game ended. That's a brutal way to lose a game at getting plus 7 with them. But you know what? I like them enough. I'm going to come back with them. They're at home here. New Orleans Pelicans -2. The total here is 227, but I like New Orleans Pelicans -2. I think in the opener, New Orleans showed that this team is just not just Zion Williamson in the opener. They took Toronto on the road to overtime, played well. They make their threes, 42%. I'm a big fan of Drew Holiday on the court. Now, when he's healthy, the team plays very well. Their stats kind of go downwards when he's not in the lineup, but he's healthy, and I like the surrounding cast around him. J.J. Redick, Brandon Ingram. Remember, he came over in that Laker trade. So did Josh Hart off the bench. Really good score and rebounds for the Pelicans here. And, I look at the Mavericks. I think they're just a 2-man team with Doncic and Porzingis.
But they are a good 2-man team, scoring 57 points in the opener.
Yeah, they did. But you know what? One thing with the Mavericks, they didn't really go after that big name scorer in free agency. They kind of looked for some scoring from their young players. And until someone steps up and can help support the Doncic and Porzingis, especially in a road game against a New Orleans team that is pretty good and actually has depth in their team, I have to take the home team here, laying the 2.
All right, so we've got a minute left. Some of us are a little rusty on betting NBA because it's been a while. Do you have any quick tips for betting basketball?
Yeah, one thing about the basketball is take a look at the schedules, because sometimes these teams can really get in some difficult scheduling spots, back-to-backs. It can be rough. Also, teams that are on long road trips, that first home game after a long trip, you notice the home team very rusty, so that's usually a go against a spot in the NBA. And also, too, try to look at every team before you bet them. There's a lot of, the NBA League Pass channel, if you have satellite or streaming, it's free for the first week of the season, so this gives you an opportunity for free to watch these teams in action, even watch the replays for free. So get a look at some of these games, get to know these players and these rotations.
Or if you're super lazy, you can just watch our show or watch Tony T's podcast. Thanks as always, Tony T, for joining us. When we're back from the break, we're talking NFL rapid fire on Picks and Parlays.
Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
We paid less for our Craftmatic today than we did 20 years ago.
If you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Rated #1 by consumers nationwide on consumeraffairs.com. Craftmatic beds come in all mattress types, including cool gel memory foam for up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, poor circulation, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. You'll sleep better in a Craftmatic adjustable bed. So if you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and information. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Discover Craftmatic for less, up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand.
Call 1-800-371-9608. That's 1-800-371-9608. Call 1-800-371-9608. Call now.
Do you owe $10,000 or more on at least 2 federal student loans? Then you may qualify for new programs offered by the Department of Education. These programs can reduce your interest, lower your payments, and possibly qualify you for loan forgiveness. If you have $10,000 or more and at least 2 federal student loans and currently not in school, you may qualify for one of these programs. Call now to check your eligibility. Student loan advisors are standing by to help you determine if you qualify for these new programs. They can help you reduce your interest, lower your payment, and even forgive a portion of your student loan debt. Take control of your financial future. Make this free 5-minute free call now to Nationwide Student Loans and learn how you can reduce your student loan debt.
800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you search Picks and Parlays, we're really easy to find. I am your host, Chelsea Messinger. You can find me on Twitter. My handle is just my name, at Chelsa Messinger. And finally today, we've got NFL Rapid Fire. And if you're new around here, It's where we go down the line with a bunch of NFL games and our handicappers give you their picks. So if you want to pay attention, buckle up. We're about to get started. We've got Chip Chirimbes and Craig. Honors, both in the studio, and you guys don't look very happy. Cheer up, it's Friday.
That's right. We're chomping, just getting ready.
All right, well, let's get going. Craig is from his Bengals are not doing too hot. They're 0-7.
Poor to say the least. Thank goodness this one's not at home, at least for the Bengals fans.
Oh, that's right. The Bengals are heading to London to play the Rams, where the Rams are favored -12.5. Total sits at 47.5. Craig, we'll start with you. Is 12.5 too many points to give to the Bengals? Yes or no?
Well, I think the number's about right. But I think the easier play, these London games, the overseas games, have been all about points, all about the overs. The last probably about 5 years, they're hitting about 70%. This year, both the games were high scoring as well. I think this one continues with that. This Bengals defense has been atrocious. I mean, I think there was 27 points they allowed to Jaguars that don't even like to score points. I just think this one goes way over. 47.5 seems like an absolute gift. If I obviously was going to play the side, I wouldn't play this Bengals team. There's just not much to go for. Zach Taylor, first-year head coach, might not make it to year 2 here for the Bengals.
And the Bengals have the worst rush defense in the entire NFL. Todd Gurley has been a little bit underwhelming as far as stats goes, but if he's going to have a breakout game, this could be it. Chip, what do you think?
I think the Rams have been underachieving this year. You know, going to the Super Bowl last year, they don't quite have the same impetus this season. Maybe they're just waiting for the second half of the schedule. Like many of the NBA teams that have gone, they sleepwalk through the beginning of the season. The Cincinnati, believe it or not, is 15-7 on grass against the points in their last 22 and 4-1 against the points after a loss. But, you know, this Rams team is laying a lot of points here, and though they've played well, at times they gave up 55 points. You know, Craig may have something here with the total, but I'm going to take Cincinnati here. They're winless, and I think they're coming out there to try and to make it as competitive as they possibly can. I just don't think they've given up on the season as of yet. I would take the Bengals.
All right, let's move on to the Cardinals and the Saints. The Saints favored in this one, -10.5. Total sits at 48. The Cardinals are 3-3-1, 5-2 against the spread, and the Saints are 6-1, 5-2 against the spread. Drew Brees is back at practice. Not sure if he plays. The Saints have not announced a starting quarterback. As you know, Teddy Bridgewater has actually been performing quite nicely as the Saints backup. They've been winning a lot of ball games. Craig, do you see them covering against the Cardinals in this one?
I think the Cardinals cover here. I just think the Saints, sounds like Drew Brees is going to play. At least he's saying he's going to play. Of course, the team has the final say, but you know, I think there'll be a little rust there. I really think they should probably go with Bridgewater as good as they're playing, give Drew Brees another week, but it sounds like, according to Drew Brees, he's going to play. I'm going to take the hot Cardinals as far as against the spread, 5-2 against the spread. Nice win at the Giants last week, you know, and again on the road this week. I know that's a tough place to play in New Orleans, but I think getting 10.5 points, you're on the other side of a key number, of course, is 10. I'm going to take the Arizona with Kyle Murray and his impressive play. I think it continues here against the Saints team that could be looking past this one.
Right. The Cardinals, as you mentioned, have been pretty good on the road. They're 3-0 against the spread on the road. However, 2 of those 3 have been against the Giants and the Bengals. So I don't know if you put an asterisk by that or what. Chip, what do you think on this one?
I think that both these, I mean, we know that New Orleans has done very well under Bridgewater. They've gone 5-0 straight up and against the points, and they've done it with defense for the most part. I mean, they beat Dallas without scoring a tie. They just sit there and are dominating on the defensive play. They went to Seattle and took the Seahawks right out. But, you know, this Arizona is 6-2 against the points overall in their last 8. And with Kyle Murray running away, I see them putting up points. They always seem to be, he seems to be able to create space and get guys in open areas. And I'm looking for Arizona in this game against New Orleans to actually go over the total. New Orleans at home. The home team is 7-1 against the points in this series. But I think with Murray and the quarterback situation, no matter who's quarterbacking the Saints, I think this game goes over the total.
All right, next up, Jets Jaguars. The Jets are 1-5 and 2-4 against the spread, coming off that terrible 33-0 loss to the Patriots, where Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts and things did not go well for the Jets at all in that game. They seem a little banged up. C.J. Mosley, their top linebacker, is out for this one. Ryan Khalil, their center, is questionable. The Jags, meanwhile, are 3-4, 4-3 against the spread, and they are favored in this one, -6.5. Total sits at 40.5. Craig, how are we seeing this one?
Well, I think it's very simple. Even though the line moved from 4.5 to 6, you saw it on Monday night. The Jets' defense or offense is terrible. Their offensive line, they didn't even pretend to try to give Sam Darnold time. Let's take the Jaguars -6 here. Don't overthink this one. Jacksonville wins and wins impressively.
All right, Chip, agree or disagree?
Well, I'm surprised that I've seen as much support for the Jets this week already with players, handicappers, services. I'm very surprised about it because we saw how bad they looked on Monday night. Lucky enough to have New England. They're only 1-7-1 in the last 9 times that they played on grass. They've only covered 3 of the last 11 times they've played against Jacksonville. And Jacksonville is 4-0 the last 4 times out against the AFC. I think that Jacksonville may be the way to go, like Greg said. I said it's under a touchdown, so that's kind of inviting, and that sort of scares me because of how putrid the Jets look. The green slime really did their thing last Monday.
All right, next up we've got the Panthers and the undefeated 49ers, who are 6-0, 4-2 against the spread. The Panthers are 4-2 and also 4-2 against the spread. The 49ers are coming off that very sloppy 9-0 win against the Redskins. They were favored 9.5. That was a bad beat if you got that number. But granted, that game was really sloppy. It was in the rain, so weather was definitely a factor. Defense has been the key for the 49ers. They probably have the best front four in the entire NFL. So the Panthers will have their hands full when it comes to a good defense, but they are getting 5.5 points, and the total is really low in this one, 42. Craig, any of these numbers jumping out to you?
Oh, I love the 49ers here. I just think Kyle Allen, like you said, against a very good defensive line, probably the best defensive line in football. I think Bosa has another big day. He's been unbelievable this year. I think the 49ers, as much as I've liked Kyle Allen since he's taken over for Cam Newton, since Newton went down with injury, I still think the 49ers a value here at -5.5, as long as we get this under 6. So if it goes to 6, I think I'd be maybe lay off this game. But at 5.5, I like the 49ers to stay undefeated and cover again against the spread.
All right, Chip, how you leaning?
Well, I think it's definitely going to go to 6. And Carolina's got some impressive numbers against the Niners. They've covered 6 of the last 7 times they've met, and they've actually at San Francisco, and they've covered 14 of the last 17 meetings overall. And San Francisco has played under the last 4 times. And by the way, that wasn't such a bad beat. We had Washington as one of our top plays last Sunday. That hook, that half point was really big for us, Chelsea. Yeah, I know. But San Francisco is, as a favorite, is 7-3 against Carolina the last 10 times they played. You have to remember that the Niners have been a poor addition in the NFL for a number of years, while Carolina, of course, had Newton, and they were one of the premier teams. They made it to the Super Bowls. So some of these numbers may be skewed from the past. I think Carolina has a shot to come here. I thought this line was kind of shallow. Newton's not going to be playing. We're going to have Allen quarterbacking him. And I'll take a shot with the points. I'll take Carolina here.
All right, moving on to the hurry-up offense because we're running a little low on time. Browns-Patriots. Patriots favored in this one, -12. Total sits at 45.5. And in this matchup, I see Baker Mayfield, who has 5 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, going against probably the best secondary in the entire NFL, and the Patriots, who lead the league in interceptions. Craig, how do you see this one?
I love the Patriots defense. This Patriots defense has been so good. I don't like laying more than double digits. Usually almost every time like that, I'm either going to lay off, at least in the NFL, or play the underdog. Here, I'm going to go with the total. Let's play the under 45.5. I think on a short week, the Patriots defense, they're going to use the run game and depend on that defense again. And I think that Patriots defense comes away with another 2, 3, 4 interception game. And Patriots win in a closer game than expected, I think, and a low-scoring game. Easy under here.
All right, Chip, how are you leaning?
I agree with Greg here. I think that's the way to go in this game. You know, Cleveland is only 5-20 against the points against teams with winning records, and we know how dominant the Patriots are. 13-3 at home against teams with winning records, 21-6 overall against teams with winning records. But like Craig said, this defense of the Patriots and, of course, the Cleveland inability to actually put things together yet offensively, I think it runs right to the total to stay under.
All right, next up, Raiders, Texans. Texans favored in this one, -7. Total is 51.5. The Raiders are 3-3 and 3-3 against the spread, but all three of those wins have come outright as underdogs. So good for bettors there. Texans 4-3, 4-3 against the spread. Craig, what stands out to you in this matchup?
Well, what stands out to me is how this Raiders team's been so up and down this year. I really like this game. This is my top game of the week. Easy money winner. Get it over at picksandparlays.net. And, of course, use that promo code this weekend, 15% off. Use the promo code BURNS15, BURNS15.
Okay, Chip, you got a play on this one?
Yeah, I do. And there's some interesting numbers here. Deshaun Watson throwing for almost 2,000 yards at 69%. We discussed this, 13 TDs and only 5 interceptions. And Derek Carr, 74% completions. There are 8 touchdown passes, only 4 INTs. I think this game goes over the total. I think that Houston and Deshaun Watson have such a prolific offense here. I don't see this game staying under. And I know that with Josh Jacobs running with the Raiders, they have a chance to put some points on the board as well. So I'll play this game to go over the total.
All right, the final game on the docket is the Packers and the Chiefs. The Packers are favored -4 in this one. As of yesterday, this line could have changed because the Chiefs did announce that Patrick Mahomes is officially out. I think we all were expecting that because he dislocated his knee, but they did announce it officially that he's not playing. So we will see Matt Moore at quarterback for the Chiefs in this one. The total is 47.5. The Chiefs 5-2, 4-3 against the spread. Packers 6-1, 5-2 against the spread. Craig, who do you like in this one?
Well, I just think the Chiefs are going to have to depend on a defense that's not really good. So, and I think the Packers, they just want to get the win here. I just think this is an easy underplay, under 47.5. I think Chiefs, obviously backup quarterback Matt Moore. He's not going to be what Patrick Mahomes is. So I think this is an easy under. I think it's like neither team gets above, say, 20, 23 points. Let's play the under here.
All right, Chip, we got about 30 seconds left for you.
I'll make it quick. You know, the fact that the Packers are favored here shows that Matt Moore is going to be quarterbacking for the Chiefs. But this is a standalone game on Sunday night. And Chelsea, I'd like to say it's one of my promo games because on Thursdays, Sundays, and Monday nights in the NFL this year, I'm 13-3. We've hit 8 of the last 9, and this is going to be a Sunday night release for me between the Packers and the Chiefs. So they can just log on, follow the buy links, and get this big-time winner. 81%, 13-3 with NFL games on these standalone nights.
All right, as always, thank you both for joining us for NFL Rapid Fire. We'll be back after the break on Picks and Parlays, recapping all of today's picks. In case you weren't paying attention, we've got you covered. Stick with us after the break on Picks and Parlays.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517. Do you have a problem hearing the television? Do you need to crank up the volume so loud your family is screaming at you? Then put on your TV ears. TV Ears has helped millions of people just like you hear TV loud and clear without cranking up the volume. For about $60 with a 30-day free trial, you can get your own set of TV Ears. When you wear TV Ears, you can mute the TV volume for private listening or let others watch TV with you. Order in the next 10 minutes and take us up on our 30-day home trial and very special price. TV Ears is a brand hearing professionals have trusted for more than 20 years. And through this special radio offer, you can get your very own for just $60. Just mention promo code RADIO. So put on your TV ears and make everyone happy. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. That's 800-984-4207.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit, and 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
And welcome back to Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to check us out on any of those social media platforms, all you have to do is search Picks and Parlays, and usually we're the first thing that pops up. Really simple. I am your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me on Twitter every day. My handle is just my name, @Chelsa Messinger, if you want to drop me a line. Now comes the time in the show. It's kind of like the Cliff Notes, if you haven't been paying attention, or if you're just now tuning in. We're going to recap all of today's picks in one tight little package. So first up, we're college football picks from Chip Chirimbes. Auburn LSU. Chip is taking Auburn plus 11. Central Florida at Temple, taking Temple plus 11. Boston College Clemson taking Boston College plus 35. That's a lot of points to give. And then moving on to our NFL picks with Tony T. Dolphins Steelers on that Monday night game, taking the Dolphins plus 14. Bucks at Titans taking Tennessee minus 2.5. And then we had an NBA free pick Friday with Tony T. Mavericks at Pelicans taking New Orleans at minus 2. And finally, our NFL rapid fire segment, Craig Trapp's picks are Bengals Rams taking the over in that one, 47.5. Jets Jaguars taking the Jags to cover minus 3. And then the Packers at the Chiefs taking the under at 47.5. Chip Chirimbes also gave us some NFL picks. Chargers, he put San Diego, but they are not in San Diego anymore. Chicago taking the Bears minus 4.5. Cincinnati and LA Rams taking Cincinnati in that one plus 12.5. And the Colts and Denver, the Broncos, taking the over 42.5. Those are our picks for the day. As always, thanks for joining us. We're here every day, same time, same place. And also check us out on social media if you ever get lonely and you need some picks. We're back next week on Picks and Parlays. Until then, we'll see you next week.